As promised, we have Mayor Pro Tem Jeff Griffith with us this morning, and he's here to discuss everything that occurred last night. A lot of important stuff happened last night at the City Council meeting. Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning.
Glad to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Don't even know where to start, but I guess one place is the Citizens Tower moving along, and according to the Lubbock AJ this morning, we decided, I guess, to build a multi-million-dollar parking garage, which I think was necessary.
The study showed that we had done, now that we've added municipal court and the police department administration headquarters, downtown headquarters building to that campus, that we could add parking. So we've developed a plan with existing dollars to construct a multi-level parking garage.
Now, Councilman, the municipal court, was it originally going to be in Citizens Tower?
No.
No? Okay. I was trying to remember exactly what was supposed to be in there.
Because that's part of our public safety plan. If you remember, the current municipal court is a building that is, well, it looks like it's all one building. It's actually four that came together where Municipal Square is, where the current police department is. It's on the the west side of the building. And so that was always part of our plan, is to move municipal court, but the location will be in what was formerly known as the WorkSource building west of Citizens Tower.
Now, what becomes of the old police station and the old court?
That, because of the location of that building, we believe that building will be sold off. That block will be sold off. Whether or not anybody rehabilitates that,
I've heard that that's unrehabilitatable. If there's such a word,
that's.
So it probably is due to be torn down.
There's a good chance that that's what will happen as downtown is redeveloping. What's going on in that area?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. Now, this is something that I've been wondering, and if the courts are not going to be in Citizens Tower, is Citizens Tower going to allow for concealed carry? Is there anything to stop them from having that? That's
a great question. It is, the court building is a separate building. I mean, it's next door. Literally, there's an alley that is the only division. Guys, as far as concealed carry, that's a great question. You know, with our rules today, we have concealed carry inside of the current city hall.
Right.
So I don't see anything changing there.
Okay.
I really don't. But as far as the court,
I don't think they allow it.
I don't think that's I do not think that's allowed. So, but that was a previous council that I was on when we voted to allow that.
Yeah.
In at least in city council. Yes.
Oh, well, Councilman, what do you think was the biggest thing that you guys covered last night?
Honestly, in my opinion, a great honor. We started this process several months ago, and Mayor Pope and I had been working with this, and the Parks and Recreation, that board also had considered it and unanimously voted to rename the Southwest. If everybody, the listeners know, at 1585 and Milwaukee Avenue, we have a youth sports complex out there with ball fields. Former Mayor Tom Martin was very instrumental in getting that complex built. We all know that former Mayor Martin was very instrumental in the entire Milwaukee corridor and a public servant, great for this city for decades. And we voted unanimously to rename that the Thomas Martin Youth Sports Complex. So that park land will be named for him later this summer. And they're already today they'll already be working on the signage, and we have yet to determine a date as to when we'll have an event to rename it. But we voted unanimously in his honor. And former Councilman Paul Bean came and spoke, and it's great to see him. Developer George McMahon came and spoke also, and he called former Mayor Martin the godfather of Milwaukee, and that's really the truth. What Mayor Martin did for that part of our city, but so many other things that he was instrumental in. Water.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the man that negotiated the deal with T. Boone Pickens for our water that we own under Roberts County, and what he did for Marcia Sharp Freeway, what he did for Lake Allen Henry. So he's been, in my opinion, he elevated Lubbock wonderfully in his career.
Well, it's unarguable. If you look at the numbers right now, I mean, Lubbock is just booming. Unemployment rate, 2.3%, lower than the state average by quite a bit.
Yeah.
And some of that has to be attributed to Mayor Martin and his leadership and all the things that he did, his far thinking in the future. And I love Tom. I'll tell you, I've known him even back when he was working with the city back during the tornado days. And
yeah, he was the public information officer during that. I mean, what a way to start his career. Of course, I learned a lot from him, and we hate to lose him. But
he was a great guy. He really was. 7:15 a.m. here on KFYO Mornings. Dave and Matt. Quick break, and we'll return with more of Councilman Jeff Griffith, Mayor Pro Tem Jeff Griffith, after this break. 95.1 FM, 790 AM. This is KFYO Mornings. Dave King, Matt Martin, along this morning with City Councilman and Mayor Pro Tem Jeff Griffith. And we're talking about all things City of Lubbock and, of course, the City Council meeting from last night. I wanted to mention this. I wanted to see if I can recruit you to get on the bandwagon with me.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
I want to ban plastic bags in Lubbock.
You can't. The state of Texas won't allow it. Austin's already tried to do that, and the mayor said, or the governor said, no, sorry. They already made it against the law to ban plastic bags. Dave.
Then never mind.
Well, I'll jump into this real quick, though, because it's an interesting topic. I don't remember the amount, but we spent in excess of $100,000 for new fencing at our solid waste, the largest solid waste disposal complex north of the city, for fencing, so that the plastic bags would stay in the landfill. Mm-hmm. So it's not a perfect answer, but speaking of budgets.
Well,
I'm just
telling you,
it is a pain.
I'm just telling you, and I've been on this thing, and of course, a lot of people say I'm a communist and blah 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 and on and on. The cost of plastic bags and what it's costing us is atrocious. You talk to any farmer, and these bags blow into their fields. It gets in there and gums up their equipment. Mm-hmm. It costs thousands of dollars.
Yeah,
and farmers hate them. And I didn't even think about that. But of course, plastic bags will blow out of the
landfill.
They blow out of the landfill, but they'll also blow out of the garbage trucks.
Yeah.
And we wind up there in trees. I'm sitting yesterday, and there was a bag blew out of a pickup truck as I was sitting over there by Sprint on the loop, and a truck going down the road big plastic bag blew out. And then a car comes by, and it hits it, and it's stuck in the grill of the car. Anyway, and what they're doing to our oceans. And I'm not a tree hugger necessarily, but it's just atrocious what these things are costing. And at some point in time, I think we're going to have to address the issue.
Well,
there are other options available.
There are, and when I go to the grocery store, they say paper or plastic. I always get paper
Well,
because it is recyclable.
I'll tell you what you
so
can do.
That is a personal decision that we can all do when we go to the grocery store, or bring your own bag. Now,
Bring your own bags,
Bring
man.
your own bag, and it saves you a little bit, not much, a few pennies. But the bottom line is we can, for those that care, we can change our behavior on not accepting plastic bags. I've seen people refuse to accept a plastic bag at a store. Say, no, I don't want a bag.
Yeah.
I've seen people do that.
We've started we started buying those bags.
Yeah.
And those little, well, I don't know if you call them canvas bags
I
or
think
what.
they're canvas, yeah.
But they're like $1.10.
Right.
$1.10.
And so,
and we've got probably 8 of those things, and we keep
one in
them
the trunk
car.
of my car right now.
And the neat thing about it, we shop at United, and we'll even shop at Walmart groceries sometimes. You take them in there, and they carry more groceries. You don't have to worry about the straps breaking and dumping your groceries out on the ground like you do with a paper bag or even a plastic bag.
Well, in my case, you're talking about that heavy ice cream.
Yeah.
That gallon container of ice cream. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Okay, enough on plastic bags. So Matt says that's not going to happen because the governor's not going to let us do that.
I believe that's correct.
Let's talk about Citizens Tower.
Okay.
When are we going to move into Citizens Tower?
Late this year.
Okay.
We're on
Like what, November,
we're on
December?
time. Yes. November,
that'd be
December. I'm not going to give you a date because I don't have a date. But I believe that we are on schedule to move in November, December. Of course, the current City Hall building is now under contract with South Plains College for the downtown campus, and so those folks are eager for us to get out too. I think that'll be a real benefit to the city of Lubbock to have that downtown campus for South Plains College. So I'm very excited about that, y'all. But Citizens Tower is on time and on budget. And the parking garage that we spoke of earlier, if that comes to fruition, it's not locked in stone yet, but if that comes to fruition, that'll be done with current budget dollars, not future budget dollars. So we're not adding to the public safety project.
So, yeah, but what I'm seeing is that they're looking at moving money that had originally been put aside for the properties that they're going to build the police stations on, and they're looking at moving that over to...
That it's under that current budget, those current budget dollars that are already been budgeted for that whole project. We knew that, we got blessed that we had some savings in some of the gifting of property for the substations, and one substation we put on city parkland. So the purchase cost of some of those properties went down dramatically, and that does help us with this. So this is a bigger thing than just about Citizens Tower.
So and I guess you would at least hear kind of what they're talking about, but are they still looking at raising the 2-cent tax this upcoming?
We'll address that as to, that was the plan originally by city management, is that would be 2 cents to the tax roll to pay for this public safety project. And, we've been working on this for a year and a half, almost 2 years, and so we've got to drill down when it comes budget time, which comes the end of this month.
But I guess my point is, you're moving money over from the public safety project over to the car garage, and it's no longer for police stations.
Okay, man, well, we're going to have to take a break here.
Okay.
We're running up against the hard break in a clock, so we'll be right back, and we'll continue that conversation, Matt. We're back here at KFYO Mornings with Dave King and Matt Martin. Yes, Councilman Jeff Griffith, Mayor Pro Tem Jeff Griffith is our guest this morning. And we have some text messages this morning. Says, I wonder if the city would allow a business to open up with no parking. I guess you wouldn't.
Well, in the downtown area, the parking requirements are less because of the downtown central business district ordinances. So they don't require as much in downtown.
Yeah.
So that's people need to know that.
So we've been talking off the air about all of this, but let's. You were explaining before we had to cut off, before Jody so rudely interrupted us.
You blame him a lot.
Before we had to take a break, we were talking about, okay, so y'all are looking at moving money from different places, but one of the places is from the land. You save money from, didn't have to purchase land. But my question was also, you're looking at a 2-cent raise, and but that 2-cent raise was for, I guess, public safety. And
Yes.
so how is it justified using that money for the parking garage?
Good question, Matt. The main deal is that because we are taking, once municipal court's added, remember, that'll be the last part of the equation is municipal court and the police administration building. Those added entities to city center campus.
When are they actually moving those in?
Well,
we
haven't.
have-
I mean, we haven't even started.
Okay.
I mean, right now that one block where the administration building is dirt. It's going to be a year or two.
Yeah. Okay. So, but anyway, again, the 2% with the money coming over, you were kind of explaining.
This was those dollars that have been budgeted will be the added need comes from the municipal court and the PD administration building. We feel like that is, and that's where that was in that budget anyway for those campuses. So the bottom line is this, in my opinion, it's bigger than this. This is for the future of downtown Lubbock because this brings added parking. Is downtown Lubbock, because people always, I mean, every day I get this question, where are you going to park downtown? This is going to add, especially nighttime, as Broadway corridor evolves, it's going to give us great added free parking in the evenings for citizens. Citizens are paying for it, by the way, as you mentioned.
Let me give you a text messenger this morning. Ask, we tear down a parking garage south of Citizens Tower so we can build another parking garage? Question mark. Thoughtful planning. I think I can answer that question. The parking garage that you're tearing down, correct me if I'm wrong, could not be rehabilitated.
That's correct.
It had to come down.
That's correct.
It was in effect. What do they call it when you?
Well,
you said you can't rehabilitate this thing. You got to tear it down and build another one.
Right. We could have rehabilitated, but at the cost of it would have been. It was not a wise business decision.
Okay.
The added parking garage only comes into play once the municipal court and PD administration, we added those campuses to it.
Let me ask you this, because this is one thing that we talked about a couple of weeks ago, and Matt will remember we got a tremendous amount of response for this when it was announced that LEDA was going to spend $10 million
Mm-hmm.
of their money, which is LEDA gets 0.8% of
They get
tax money.
They get
1/8 of a cent.
1/8 of a cent, yeah. And so it amounts to several $1 million a year. And so LEDA announced that they were going to give $10 million, in effect, to South Plains College to move to downtown.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of citizens are very angry about that. What are your thoughts? I mean, and I have to confess now, there's no bigger proponent. You're not going to find a bigger proponent of revitalizing downtown than me. But that does sound like a lot of money for the citizens to pay to put a couple of thousand kids down there in South Plains College. I realize that will be an advantage to having those kids there. That's that synergy we're looking for to revitalize downtown. But man, $10 million?
Being downtown is great. Well, we're the largest Texas city without a community college downtown. But let's go back to why, in my assessment, that Lita's board of directors voted to do this. I can't speak for them, but I'm pretty sure this is the take. Workforce. The bottom line is that you brought up Lubbock's growth. The average age of a plumber in Lubbock, gentlemen, 58 years old.
Yeah, 55 years old. Yeah.
That's just one trade I'm bringing up. I'm not saying that they're going to have, but the trades issue is, I mean, you can ask business owners all across. Our unemployment rate's really low. We need skilled labor force in this city. This is truly a education for a lot of folks that may not get a chance or have a need for a 4-year degree from Texas Tech University. But a 2-year degree from great institutions, South Plains College, the governor, Senator Perry, was explaining to me yesterday morning about how the legislature is refocused on community colleges, the need for that, and the low cost of education. So community college is a great avenue for us to get kids, maybe some of them they may not be a tech candidate, but they can be a candidate for community college, and that gives us great skilled labor force. And it's a problem. I mean, so this is a long-term solution, not a short-term solution for education. And that's why I feel like this is important. The downtown part's great, no doubt about it. Its proximity to Texas Tech University is phenomenal. The synergy, and Dr. Skovanec can explain that, the synergy between South Plains College and Texas Tech University and what they're doing together.
Really? Okay.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And he will be on with us, president of Texas Tech University, at about 8:05 this morning. Okay, 7:44 a.m. here on KFYO Mornings with Dave and Matt, back with more of the Mayor Pro Tem after this. And we are back here at 7:48 a.m. KFYO Mornings with Dave King and Matt Martin. And as we've been talking now for about an hour with City Councilman, Mayor Pro Tem Jeff Griffith, and I had a texter who has some interest in the Old Villa Hotel because they're in that proximity, and they want to know if we've discussed the Villa Motel yet, and could the city at least mow the weeds as they're about waist high or more? And again, I don't know if you're up to speed on what can be done. We know that the city has tried to haul off that mess, which it is an eyesore for the city, and we're involved with asbestos, and the state won't allow you to do it. And I don't know, are we just going to let it sit there forever? Do you know? Can you give us an update on it?
I've been involved in this since before it burned down, and the horrific previous ownership, in my opinion, that it was a catastrophe how that evolved. But the current owner has paid somebody finally to start the cleanup. Now they started. They
did.
Then they paused because we had to check, and that's where we're in pause. And I'll find out today because it's a great question. As to we had to that contractor that the owners hired, they had to pause because of
the city. I understand
asbestos.
The state stopped them.
Yeah, TCQ. But the bottom line is, I need to find out where we're at in the process. Yes, it's horrific. We were handcuffed as to what we could do because of the current owner, and not taking care of business, and the city was as far as we could go with it. We can fine them, but it's still their property.
Jeff, it's been I don't know how long, but it's been a
year.
long time. Here's
year.
Here's what I don't understand. I got it. It's got asbestos, and it has to be handled properly. The disposal. Okay. Well, let's handle it properly and let's move on. I mean, I know. I guess this is not the city. This is the state. But my gosh, they're going to have to resolve that mess somehow or
I have
another.
a great idea. Let's just move all of that over to the airport area, and then you only have one cleanup.
You just
Well,
pile bigger on North I-27.
Yeah, it's already there. It's nothing we can do about it. So just move it all over there.
How about
but this is a serious issue, and I will find out where we're at in this process.
How about the city mowing the weeds?
I'll address this with the city manager this morning. Right. Thank you for bringing that up.
So we're running out of time very quickly,
yes.
But one quick question is, has there been any discussion at all about changing the 2 cent raise that's coming up? I mean, y'all are getting extra money or received quite a bit of extra money through sales tax and as well as other things. Are y'all talking at all about not spending that money and keeping the tax rate as it is?
The process for budget will start this month, and we'll do budget workshops. We'll assess needs and dollars available. And I'm not trying to avoid the question, but that's always an option. Is if dollars are not available to do that, then that's where we'll look. But the bottom line is you can't go into a budget with ideas that are misconceived about public safety. You've got to take care of what's in front of you. That's our job. At the same time, you're always looking for ways to improve and save. There's no rocket science to it. It's looking at dollars and cents on every department.
Okay.
That's the way budgets really need to be handled, in my opinion.
Hey, we thank you so much for coming out. Always good information. But we've coming up on a break here, and we got to go.
Well, thank you for having me. I've enjoyed it. I hope you all have a great day. And
ditto, you too.
I'll look on Villa.